Hi, I'm John and welcome back to my Lair of Action Figures, where I'll be talking and reviewing action figures from different manufacturers. Today's going to be a bit of a special video because this is going to be a speculative video on what should be the new G.I. Joe Classified Haslab of 2025. It should be announced currently in this month of June with the 3 more videos that we should be getting from the fan stream at Hasbro. So, of course, the big speculation right now of basically on these 2 vehicles. Now, I'm going to explain you why I think that these could be the vehicles, why I don't believe that these will be the vehicles, and I'm going to be mentioning some ones that could be done as a 25th for 2025 or maybe later from Haslab. And I'm going to be finishing this video by one who I see is a bit more fit than the others, and I will be giving you my explanations why, and also what could be the unlocked here. So stay tuned, and we're going to dive into the Snowcat. So let's start by the Snowcat. As I was saying, this vehicle has a lot of potential, and a lot of people are talking about it. There's some other people who made some videos about it, including the Polar Battle Bear. I haven't found it. So this is the Snow Wolf. It's not the exactly the Snowcat from 1985. This was the Wolfhound who came out in 2010 with white autos over here. Now, it is kind of the same vehicle, but due to the fact that it's been updated, there's some paint schemes on it, and there's been a bit more weathering done on it. This is what I want with this one, and I don't know where my original Snowcat is, somewhere in the different warehouses or depot that I have. So I haven't been able to locate it. Now, a lot of people are saying this could be the vehicle. The fact of adding the how do you call it, the snowmobile, not the little snow motorbike that comes with it. It doesn't make really sense. I don't see why Hasbro would be going for this. They've been going bigger and bigger, if you really think about it, because we started out with the Hiss, then we went from the Hiss to the Dragonfly, then we're getting the Cobra Rattler. Now, of course, if we're looking at this vehicle, I have had a really hard time believing this is going to be the one that they're going to do. The reason why I have this is because if we really look at it, it's not much bigger than the AW Striker that came out, who's coming out in the regular line. As you can see, if we put it over here, you can see that it's kind of similar in size. So this is why I'm believing that Hasbro will go for a bit of a bigger vehicle on that behalf. And also if you compare it to the Vamp. Now, of course, this is not the original Vamp from 1982 or 1983. The same goes for this one. This is the 25th anniversary versions of it. And I'm going to do this. I'm going to remove this, but to give you a perspective of the G.I. Joe Vamp next to it. As you can see, even put close to back to back, they're kind of very similar in size. And this is the reason why I'm not really believing that they're going to go with this vehicle over here. Now, of course, I could be mistaken. This is only speculative. But for me, I don't see the reasoning behind it. Some people are talking about different figures that will go with it. Maybe giving us, how is it called, this guy over here, who's Iceberg from the 25th anniversary. But this one would be released in the regular line. And if we really think about it, we didn't get much Snow Troopers. We got only our friend Snow Job in the G.I. Joe team for now. They haven't been doing much of anything else. So, of course, this is the 25th anniversary version of Snow Job. Of course, if you would be doing this vehicle, I haven't located, like I said, my one from 1985 with Frostbite, but this is Whiteout who came out with this one in 2010. So you could have Whiteout as one of the figures, you could have Frostbite, and maybe a third winter figure to go with it. But there's like literally no Arctic figures currently in the G.I. Joe line. Like I said, there's only Snow Job and the Arctic Bat, and you have the Snow Serpent retro line and the version that they did, the deluxe version. So this is why I'm not thinking that this one is going to be the vehicle that's going to be for the new Haslab. So let's dive into the second choice that I believe that could be the 2025 Haslab vehicle, and it's the G.I. Joe or Cobra Thunder Machine from the Dreadnoks. The reason why I'm saying this could be the vehicle who would come out would be because they're doing the Cold Cedar album release plus the Comic-Con version of Zartan, the Dreadnoks as the band. So it could make sense that you would come out with the Thunder Machine. Now, there's some also the same problem if you really think about it. This vehicle is not much bigger than the G.I. Joe Vamp or the AW Striker. So this gives you a bit of an idea that it doesn't feel that big. So I don't know. I would like to see the Thunder Machine coming out. I would like to see the rest of the Dreadnoks coming out in the classified line. But I don't think, either due to the fact that it's not such a big vehicle, you can put some extra figures, but who are you going to put except Trasher and maybe some other figures? But yeah, does not really make sense. And then after you have to think about it, we got one Cobra, one G.I. Joe. We get in one Cobra, so logically the fourth vehicle coming from Haslab in the G.I. Joe classified line should be a G.I. Joe vehicle and not a Cobra one. Now, as I said, I want to dive into some of these who are more like honorable mentions than anything else, and this is going to be the list of the 4 vehicles that I believe could make an honorable 2025 Haslab or maybe later. So my first pick for honorable mention would be the MBT Molar tank, who's of course a G.I. Joe vehicle, as you can see. Well, I haven't found out all the little pieces, the antennas, the smoke grenades and everything else over here, but this one could be a nice add as a vehicle. The reason why I think this could make a nice vehicle for Haslab, because like I said, it's a pretty bigger vehicle if you compare it, but this one compared to the Mobat has more possibilities to integrate figures. Now, of course, like I said, if we do a comparison with the Vamp, it is really a lot smaller, so this could be something that could work due to the fact that you have 2 positions. Maybe we work over here so that you can have an extra figure that going in, and mostly we know that we're getting 3 to 4 figures with every Haslab who's coming out, so this would make sense to have this one as a pick. Now, of course, this is again an honorable mention, so it's something that I will not mind seeing, but doesn't mean that it should happen. Now, the second vehicle that could be happening also is also a vehicle from 1984, and it's this one over here, the G.I. Joe APC. Now, this could make also a nice add-on, the fact that you have 2 drivers positions. When you open it up, you can see that you can put a lot of figures in it, and it could make sense that you could get this one here. Of course, you would maybe have a hook behind, like the Action Force version of this one here. But this one could be an also very interesting possibility to give some figures with it. Of course, this vehicle, when it came out, if you take the Action Force version or this one over here, didn't come with any figures. So this could be an interesting pick also for the Haslab vehicles. Now, continuing with the ones that I think could work out, there is this one that is pretty neat. So I did not find the one I had open, but this is the Vamp MK2. Now, of course, I know we got the Vamp, the normal one, but this one is a pretty cool vehicle. It's highly inspired. I know that it could look a lot like the Valaverse version of it, but you have 4 seats, you have a position of gunner. This could give you a possibility to build up some of the figures, like they're going with Stealth Brigade pretty strong, Hasbro with some of the stuff they announced. So this could make sense. You would get this and get some extra figures, maybe a Clutch 2.0 to go with it, because the original version of the 30th anniversary did come with Clutch, the one I have open. So yeah, this could be a very interesting vehicle, gives a lot of possibilities to put up some figures on it. So this could be also something very interesting. Now, we're going to go to the fourth one, sorry, and it's going to be the G.I. Joe Rhino. Now, I know that this is a pretty big beast. And this one came out in 2011. It was an exclusive for the G.I. Joe Club, but this one was a regular release with the possibility of opening, putting up a lot of G.I. Joes. Of course, when we are looking at it, we can all see that this has a high inspiration from the movie Aliens with S, the second one, because there's a lot of trapdoors, a lot of stuff that opens up for you to have access to it. As you can see, there's some access. It's a bit hard to see. Let's see if we can bring in a bit more light so you can see all the details in it. And it's a pretty cool vehicle. Now, this could be something of interesting because it's an APC. And also maybe the fact of you're getting two vehicles in one. But like I said, this is more mention that it could be something of cool, because as you can see, you get a helicopter on top of it, and this could be something of really nice to add on to the G.I. Joe list. Now, I'm going to be giving the final one that I would like to see in the G.I. Joe Classified line, and it's going to be this beast over here. So this is a vehicle that came out in 2011, if I'm not mistaken. Let me check that out. I just don't want to say anything stupid. But no, this one came out before. The Night Ops Humvee came out in 2005. Sorry, getting mixed up with all of this. And this is technically a Humvee transformed into a gun truck. Now, there's some missing parts. This vehicle, for me, is pretty awesome. It gives you the possibility to put 4 soldiers inside, one on top. Then you have some possibilities to add some guys behind. You have some extra accessories. This would be really a vehicle that I would love to see in the G.I. Joe Classified line. Now, I don't think that they're going to be doing this anytime soon, but having this vehicle with all the different ammo crates, the different boxes, the MK40 grenade launcher, you have the 50 cal behind, and you can do a lot of detailing. So of course this Hasbro didn't maybe do so much detailing in the cockpit, but there's a lot of possibilities to do something of pretty neat and pretty nice in the 25th, for the Haslab vehicle. So yeah, this one I would definitely love to see. There's some tooling, there's the possibility to access the engine also, if I'm not mistaken. So it should open. As you can see, there's a lot of possibility to do something of cool. And again, due to the fact that you have a lot of possibilities to put the figure, this makes it a pretty cool pick. Now, we're going to be finishing with my thoughts about what I would like to see happening, and hopefully this is what's going to be the 2025 Haslab vehicle in the G.I. Joe Classified line. And here is the one that I'm seeing as the winner for the 2025 Haslab vehicle, and this is going to be the Killer Whale. This vehicle came out in 1985. Now, as you can see, these are not the original figures that goes with it. These are the ones from the 25th anniversary line. So of course you can see Cutter over here, who's the driver or the pilot of the vehicle, as you can see. Besides to go on to the 25th anniversary line, due to the fact that you can remove the hat, that you have the removable life vest, you have pistols, so it wouldn't make really sense. Now, if you're noticing what I did on here, you have the exclusive Night Force figures. Now, there's a reason why I put these guys on over here. So this is also a whale that I got from the loot with the Thunder Machine and some other stuff that I picked up. But let's dive back into why did I go with the Night Force. Now, anybody who's a fan of G.I. Joe will know that in 1998, the Night Striker came out. So it was the repaint of this vehicle, or not really going into too much of a repaint, but you had different bits and pieces over here who change of color. I do not have that vehicle, didn't own it, do not want it, because it's not part of the vehicles that I would like to own, because it never came out in Europe and it was exclusive, I believe, to Toys R Us, if I'm not mistaken, and I was not interested in picking them up. Of course, in the 25th anniversary line, this is a bit different, but this is the reason why I would really love to see this as the pick from Hasbro. Of course, if you think you could remove some of the stickers and leave it a bit more plain with some standard stay away, load, or all this kind of other stay clear, all of this, and remove some of it. Keep the G.I. Joe logos, but don't put the Killer Whale logo. And what you could do is come out with a sticker sheet where you could put the Killer Whale, or you could put it as a Night Force. Now, this is something that makes it very interesting, because if you really think about it, this could be two vehicles in one. So the people who are kind of more interested in this kind of vehicle could pick up two. You would make one as the Killer Whale, and the other one you would customize it as the Night Striker. Afterwards, what Hasbro could do, let's say with the pilot over here. So we're getting Cutter with the vehicle. Of course, that would make sense due to the fact that he's the driver, but Hasbro could incentivize, could push you into forcing you to pre-order the stuff faster. Let's say, hey, if you order the whale and we get up to the numbers that we want by 48 hours, 72 hours, we hit the first threshold, like they did with the His tank, we're giving you an extra figure. And this extra figure they could give us is a Night Force version of Cutter. Of course, this figure never came out in the original line, but you're going to understand why I would think this would be a nice little add-on. I mean, it gives you another possibility to have another Cutter, then it gives you also the possibility to have him as the Night Force. As you know, Night Force has been pretty popular. It's normally a Walmart exclusive, and they've been giving a lot of love to those figures, if we can say like that, because there's a lot of them around. You can go and check out the reviews I already did with them, but there's a lot of Night Force figures. There are some missing, but they're pretty complete. By the looks of it, Target is not going to be doing any G.I. Joe stuff any soon, so it doesn't look like we're going to get any more Tiger Force. So Night Force it's going to be, and due to the fact that if you really look about it, we got two Night Force figures with the Dragonfly. And the reason why it would be cool if you can add those, as I said, you could put some of these figures over here as the next unlocks. You're not taking a risk, because if you're putting these figures over here, you're giving the possibility to get them later on. And who would not like to have a hit-and-run, or maybe a spare head with his Bobcat over here? Who would not mind having another Outback, because Outback is a pretty fantastic figure and he was part of the original Night Force. Of course, going on to some of my other favorite characters, of course we have Repeater over here, who's a really great figure that I hope they're going to be making very soon. And another very popular figure that is a fan favorite, it's Muskrat. So again, a lot of people would like to have this in the Night Force version. There's another figure who's hiding in the bay over here, and this is going to be Sneak Peek, who was also part of the Night Force, if I'm not mistaken. So this could be a really nice add as a possibility. So this is what I really think that this will make a perfect set for the new Haslab. So maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong, but hey, Hasbro, if you're listening, look, there's plenty of ideas, plenty of possibilities to do something of great. And as you've been going up in making bigger and bigger vehicles, this will make sense to get the Killer Whale or the Night Striker, depending how you want to build it up, and gives you the possibility to maybe sell more. So that's going to be it for my review and speculation about what would be the new Haslab vehicle. If you like this kind of videos, please leave a like, share, comment in the section. If you have any suggestions, you can also leave them. Go and check out my Facebook page or Instagram page. I post a lot of pictures. Be doing some more pictures, didn't have much time lately. And also subscribe to the channel, it helps out a lot. And until then, I hope you have a nice day, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!